morning and welcome back to Living on a UK State Pension. My name's Tanya. I'm 69 years old, and for the next, it might be a week or 2 weeks depending when I put this up, sorry. So it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks. Living on my UK State Pension and saving my civil service pension to put back some much needed money into my savings from my renovation overspend and the furniture I bought. Anyway, today is Sunday, and Sunday is my reset day in lots of ways. Because Bertie's going back to Daddy on Tuesday, I don't do the beds today. I wait till he's gone and then I do them. Well, it's just the one that I sleep with him in. But I do the rest of the house as such, the rest of the bungalow, I should say. There's a plane going over, sorry about that, a bit noisy. And I generally sweep the floors, hoover, then mop the floors with a damp cloth, wipe all the surfaces down as much as possible, and normally a couple of rooms I'll do the skirting boards as well, a couple at a time. Don't do the whole house all in one go because I'd never get out the door otherwise. I'm a bit obsessive at times. I have to have time slots for doing things, otherwise the day would go away with me and I won't have done anything except clean. So now I have like half an hour or an hour slot and then I'm out the door, which I did this morning. I'm always later getting out the door on a Sunday because I try to only do one walk with Bertie on a Sunday. We go for a bit longer. I've already done 7,000 steps. So yeah, we might do a quick walk around the block later, but it won't be a walk. It'll be a sniffathon for him, basically. Anyway, the other thing I love about Sunday Reset is when I was on Slimming World, the same as when I was on Weight Watchers years and years ago, it was my day to prepare for the rest of the week. Now, most people start diets on a Monday, you know, and hope it doesn't fail by Monday tea time. Well, this way I guarantee my success a little bit by prepping what I've got in the fridge ready to see me through at least 3 days, 3 to 4 days. 4 lunches, maybe dinners as well, depending. But anyway, I have been in the kitchen this morning only for a short time. I'll take you out there. The air fryer's on at the moment, cooking some cheap chicken that I got, that I'll be stripping later, portioning it up for Bertie's food into 200-gram portions at a time. I don't know how much I'll get out of the 1.2 kilos of leg meat from chicken quarters, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to know, won't it? Because it's skin on as well. I've left the skin on so that he can have a couple of bits of skin crisped up. But this morning I've made a couple of salads and I've got everything ready for a quiche to go in the air fryer next when the legs are finished. What else? Let's go out and have a look. Bring you down. One of the salads I prepared earlier. Number 2 in the fridge for tomorrow, covered over. I've been through the fridge. I've cleaned all the bottom up. I know how much lettuce I've got left. I've only got a tiny bit of cucumber left. I've got tomatoes in the front room still. I've got a chunk of butter left to see me through. I've just put a little bit of the feta cheese in a pot ready with the last 2 eggs, and I've still got a chunk of cheddar there. got the avocados I bought cheap this morning, and I've just been out to the garage and brought the 3 onions that were in my drawer in ready to use this week or next week. I also made coleslaw. So I shall be prepping my lunch in a minute. In here I've got chickpeas at the bottom that I had to take out of the air fryer to put the chicken in. A bit of chicken from the legs I cooked the other day. Bertie's had most of it, but I kept a little bit for me for lunchtime. Just going to put that in the microwave just for a minute. And I have a tiny bit of ripest. That one's softer. The smaller one is softer. I'm going to have a quarter chopped up on top. I've got a damp piece of greaseproof paper. I read somewhere about this. I'm hoping it's going to work. I'm wrapping tightly the avocado I've got left, taking it out of the skin, and then I'm putting it in a plastic bag and it will go in my fridge. I'm just going to wrap that round tightly like that to keep the air out. Put it in the fridge. Actually, I'll keep that one out in my fruit tray so that it ripens a bit more. Fingers crossed we have a good result from that. It's nothing worse than discoloured avocado, although it's perfectly fine. It's just a bit off-putting, isn't it, when it goes that grey colour. I'm going to add a bit of coleslaw. I haven't put any salt and pepper on the coleslaw because the cabbage will start to lose water if I salt it. So here's my chicken, been warmed through gently. Let's break that up a bit more. Tiny little bit, not too much. I've got some on the side for Bertie because he's bound to come and have a sniff. There we are, chickpeas, little bit of chicken, and take you over the other side before I start the air fryer up again. In here I've got the last of my frozen cottage cheese, a tiny bit of pepper, the last 2 eggs. Date runs out today. I know they're perfectly good. I'm not overly worried about that, but at least I'm using them up, and this way I'm only going to get like half an egg in a portion of quiche. Now this one is going to be a crustless quiche, and I've got onions, peppers and mushrooms in there, and a bit of garlic salt that I sautéed off. So when this is defrosted and I finish cooking the chicken, this will go in the air fryer, and hopefully it will make a nice deep quiche that I can cut into for a crustless quiche. I shall add salt and pepper to that now. I'm ready to be whizzed up. And this is how I start Sundays, so I stay on track. And tomorrow I'll be thinking about Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm ahead of myself when it comes to meals because I have this quiche. I've still got enough salad. As I say, I'm hoping that my Marks and Spencer's vouchers come through. I may have to swap out some voucher money for some cash out of my spending money to use on anything that I'm low on, which will be fresh stuff. As the oleo lady calls me, I'm the veg lady. So there we are, that will be done. I've just turned the chicken quarters over to go in the other side on high now. And then they should be cooked. I'll let them cool and I'll start stripping. Good morning. I just thought I'd pop on and finish off what I got up to yesterday. What a difference a day makes, as they say. It is horrible today. We have been out. He didn't want to go to the beach, so we did a long walk around the estate this morning. I've got lights on to film because it's dark in here. And yesterday, oh, it was stunning. I'll show you some photographs that I took along the beach. Drop them in at the end so you can see. And I've just come on to say I stripped all the chicken. I boiled the bones up. I've got the stock in the fridge. I've also got a tray, an ice cube tray in the freezer with the stock. I went out and moved the chicken out of the silicone moulds because the chicken that I'd stripped, I rammed into the silicone moulds and froze, and I call them pucks. When I lift them out of the mould, they become pucks. And I put them in a bag so that I can easily take 3 out, or however many, I think 4 I'm going to need to make a meal up. I think it worked out just over 720 grams, 800 with the skin. So, but of course I've got the meat broth from it. So that's full of collagen and good sources of protein and good sources of minerals. So yes, that will go. I've put some of that with the chicken so that when I make his meals up, I can make it up with the broth as well. I've got some in the fridge, which I'm going to be making savoury rice up shortly, and that's to have tonight with some salmon and a little bit at lunchtime with my salad. So I'll show you that, how I'm going to, it's a cheap golden vegetable rice from Asda, 28p a packet. I'm going to make it up with the broth to add a bit of flavour and maybe a diced onion and some green beans. I've got some green beans left in the fridge. So tonight's tea will be simple. It will just be salmon and savoury rice and maybe a couple of grilled tomatoes on the side. The main thing was this morning I went online and Asda have put out the bonuses on the Christmas card, on the Christmas savings card. And I had £280 on there, and now I've got £295. So I'll put the picture of that on screen. So I have got some money to spend. I'm not going to spend it till the end of the week because I don't need to. I'll be buying mainly stock items. Like I said, I need kitchen roll. I could do with a spare foil. You know, you always need foil over Christmas. My husband's coming tomorrow to pick Bertie up, so we need to talk about Christmas, what's happening this year, because things have gone on in the background. I don't want to talk about them on here, and yeah, things are up in the air with the family at the moment, so I'm going to suggest that between us we try and put on Christmas, maybe at his place because it's bigger than mine. And it's more central to my daughters, and we go from there. So that's my train of thought anyway at the moment. Yesterday afternoon, although I said I wasn't going to take Bertie on a second walk, I did an oleo pickup. The reason being is that the limes that she has been advertising for about, it must be 5 days now. I don't know how many limes she must have, because when I turned up, I'd asked for the 7 that she'd advertised. And they are ropey, there's no two ways about it, but they'll be perfectly fine for my cleaning solution that I make. So I picked up 7 limes. I also picked up 2 litres of frozen milk. She froze it on the 31st of October and has been advertising it. Now, I'm not sure when you become an ambassador for Olio whether you have to say whether you've got a freezer big enough, because she freezes milk, she freezes, what else did she? Oh, bread, lots of bread she freezes. Because people can't always pick it up, and there are rules with Olio about use by dates. So once it's frozen, she has a longer window to advertise these things to people and to get them used up. Now, she had lots of 4 pints of skimmed milk. It's always skimmed milk, although she had a goat's milk the other day as well. And that's still on the screen so I'm not sure if she's frozen that. She must have for it to still be on the screen. So she has skimmed milk, 4 pints, skimmed milk, 2 pints. She had the limes, and when I got to the front door, she said to me, "Oh, what are you going to do with your limes?" And I said, "I'm going to use them to make cleaning solution." She said, "My husband's just gone to get some jars because we're going to have a go at making strawberry and lime jam." So I said, "Oh, right, I've never heard of it. And that got me thinking about, I suppose I could have made lime marmalade, because I used to love Rosa's lime marmalade years ago. But of course it's the sugar content, and I'm desperately trying to stay away from sugar. Don't get me wrong, I have a scraping of jam here and there, on a piece of toast occasionally, but I have cut back so much because I am of the thought, my thinking and my research that I've done, that sugar has more to do with cholesterol than it's given credence for at this moment in time. And lots of doctors now and researchers are starting to put that connection together, that there is something about sugar that is creating the high cholesterol rather than the fats in our diet. Because my problem is too much HDL, too much good cholesterol. My triglycerides, which stem from carbohydrates, are low. So the fat in my system is low. But I still have high cholesterol because of HDL. Not because of the bad cholesterol, not because of the LDL, purely because of the HDL. So there we are. So yeah, Rosa's marmalade. I used to love that. And of course it was in the unique jar too, wasn't it? Do they still make it? Is it still on the shelf? I don't know. Haven't looked for it for years. So yeah, Rosa's. Used to love that. Anyway, I'll take you into the kitchen. And the first thing I'm going to make is just the quick savoury rice using the broth and maybe some chopped onions. And that goes for prep again for the next couple of days, because I can use the rice in my salads. I've taken 2 pieces of salmon out. I don't mind salmon 2 days on the trot. I love salmon, so might have it again tomorrow. I may cook both tonight. I don't know. I may cook both tonight. And then it's cooked for tomorrow. I've only got to warm it through gently. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. If I think of anything else, I shall talk to you while I'm cooking. In the pan, I have got a little bit of the fat off the top of the bone broth. Just adding some frozen peppers. Not a great deal of onion. These sauteed down. Just boiled the kettle. just in case I need hot water. This is the rice. I don't know whether to just make half the packet up, so weigh out 60 grams, or do I make the whole packet up? Oh, let's make the whole one up. Pour that in there. Now it says 3/4 of a pint of cold water. And I'm just going to add this stock. I've just been to the freezer. The ice cubes aren't, the stock cubes as I call them, instead they're stock put in an ice cube tray, aren't completely set at the moment, so as soon as they are I shall tip them out into the bag. I've already got a bag out there started. Now I do know, because I've bought this rice mixture in the past, it hasn't got a great deal of flavour to it, so I'm going to add some garlic granules and maybe a little bit of cumin. Pinch of oregano. Whatever you feel necessary. Just a bit of savoury rice to go with my salmon. Get that back up to the boil. I'm going to cover with a piece of foil, so I haven't got a lid big enough for a frying pan. Decided to put plate on the top to give it a good seal. Take you over and show you the limes. It's the salmon defrosting there for tonight and tomorrow. Just put a lid on it. I haven't got the label, but that would have been one of the ones from Asda. Oh, I can't remember. Ridiculous knockdown yellow sticker price. It's on the rest of it in there, but I think they're normally about 90p to £1 a piece. Bargain. These are the 7 limes. They're all the reduced stickers off them from when they were in Tesco's. Their final price was 7p. And still no one wanted to buy them. And yes, they are rough looking. There's a couple that are better than others, but they will just be put in hot water in a jar to make my cleaning solution in the future. Right, all I'm doing is squeezing the lime. And then I'll just cut them up and put the skins in there as well. Tough. I'll top that up with hot water. No, I'm looking for something to hold the fruit down under the water. That'll do. That will do. I'll get the lid. It's one done. a taste, see how well done the rice is, or whether we need to steam it a bit longer. But that was about, I don't know, 7 minutes. A little bit more. A little bit more steam. Get these lovely flavours off the bottom of the pan. And it's made a huge difference adding the bone broth to it, as I call it. It's actually given it some flavour for a change. A little bit more. Got plenty of bone broth in the freezer. A little bit more liquid. Turn that down to the very lowest. Put the plate back on. There we are, perfect. So now to put my lunch together before the rice gets cold. Right, I'm just moving the salad from the bowl that's been in the fridge over to a plate that's at room temperature. And that's only because I don't want it freezing cold. There we are. Might actually spread it out. There. So that's lettuce, tomato, cucumber, olives, homegrown beetroot, homegrown tomatoes. Let's have a look at the avocado, shall we? See how that's fared. Where are we? Well, it's gone a little bit off colour. Not too bad. Quiche I made, crustless quiche, so I'm going to only have a 1/6 of it, but I'm going to chop it up so I can have what I call a fork meal. Or spoon, whatever way you want to call it. I've got my Benacol ready and I shall be doing my vitamin C drink in a minute. A little bit of coleslaw spread over the top. That's it. And some hot, crispy chickpeas. These were done in curry paste, in a bowl, curry paste added, stirred round, a spoon of, literally a heaped spoon, sweet chilli sauce, salt, pepper, and some garlic granules, and they're crispy. I'm going to have a go, because that's my last tin of chickpeas. I normally buy them over at Farm Foods because they're cheaper. It's sweet chickpeas that I can have maybe as a dessert. But that's lunch today, and I think you'll agree. It's full of colour, it's full of different textures, full of fibre, and I'm looking forward to it. And what did I almost forget? Silly woman. A sprinkling of rice. Lovely savoury rice. That's better.